Dear investors and friends, we'd like to take this opportunity to give you an update on the recently concluded budget for FY26. To start with, we feel that the budget arithmetics were quite sensible. Overall nominal GDP growth expectation of 10.1 is something we think is achievable. At the same time, corporate tax collection is expected to increase at a similar pace as is GST. Personal tax growth is expected to be about 14%, which we do think is a little bit on the higher side. But overall, when you look at budget arithmetics, they seem to be quite reasonable. So the most important thing to start with is that the overall budget numbers seem fairly believable. The second, when you look at the focus of the budget, we think the focus has been balanced between consumption and investment. As you would know, the last few years has been driven by investments, and the focus to some extent in this budget has shifted to consumption. Having said that, a 10% increase in capex we think is a reasonable number. At the same time, transfers to states is likely to increase, and hence state capex is also likely to be reasonable. We have observed a slowdown in consumption for the last couple of quarters, particularly on the urban side, and therefore the rejig in tax rates, which puts approximately 1 lakh crores in the hands of consumers, is something which is certainly welcome. Even if 60-70% of this is spent in the balance saved, it will result in a meaningful boost to consumption. In addition to this, when you look at the fiscal deficit, the finance minister has maintained the target of 4.4%. We think once again this is good fiscal prudence. There was a temptation to loosen up on the fiscal deficit in the effort to boost overall economic growth, but I think India's economic growth stands out quite well compared to what you see outside of India, and hence maintaining fiscal discipline is certainly welcome. Overall, we think the budget has met all the requirements of promoting growth through a combination of capex and consumption. We think the budget arithmetics are quite reasonable. We think maintaining fiscal discipline is certainly welcome. And simplification of the overall tax structure is also something which is quite welcome. Keep in mind that budget is just once a year event, and we still have 364 days in which the government will continue to push forward its agenda of focusing on growth. Thank you very much, and we hope to engage with you once again sometime soon.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.